Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this happens to be arriving in your reality of now. I had this person send me a friend's request, and it's someone I know personally. And the person I know walks everywhere he goes, isn't into social media, rarely engages with the public, and he's a good person, good heart, but a little quirky in the ways he lives his reality. So I found it odd that he was joining Facebook. I send him a text and a screenshot. I'm like, hey, is this you? And he's like, yeah, no. I had other people that I do engage with on social media who are into social media. I've had their picture mimicked and fake accounts created for them, hiding behind someone else's name. Yuck. Yuck. Why do adults engage in that kind of stuff? Who you are is precious. Trying to be someone else is a waste of your time. If you don't like who you are, then you have the advantage of cleansing that and cleaning it up and choosing different behavior. Pretending to be someone you're not, it dishonors you. It can be somewhat of a mockery, I guess. But dressing like someone else, doing your hair like someone else, mimicking their mannerisms, creating fake profile accounts, that kind of stuff does not give you access to who that person is. Their energy is unique to them. And energy is permission based. One of the things that's so lovely about how our universe works is that it's power of choice. You're in charge of how you behave. You're in charge of the choices you decide. I had someone took my late husband's picture and profile and created a fake account and then attempted to talk to me, which, I'm all about mediums and reaching through the veil and all of that stuff, but it's not going to come across on Facebook. Who you are deserves a voice. You're dishonoring yourself with that behavior. And any bridge you build is on a faulty foundation. I'm assuming that behavior is done and created and kept up with because it gives them opportunity to talk to people and get their jollies off on a superficial level, like, oh, I've got however many people, blah, blah, blah. Like it's false and fake, and it's stroking your pride and ego in superficial ways that keep you from authentic connection. The authentic connection that matters the most is the one between your higher self and self. Who you are is precious. And you have the power to be the person you choose to be. If you create a life of deceit, the people that you interact with, Decepticons. If you choose a life that siphons energy not of yours, if you take that vampire siphoning, sucking energy crap, you will ingest energy that will sicken you. Everybody is protected. Everybody has divine energy that actualizes in their reality. Not everybody knows how to use it. Not everybody's conscious of it. But It's a Russian roulette that puts you at a disadvantage in reality. That disadvantage will cause things like low self-esteem, low self-worth, a fake a fake image. And then when people love your fake image, that's not love. And it doesn't matter if you've got 100,000 people looking at you or if you've got 3 people looking at you. Love wants what's best for you. I believe the fabric of the universe is God's unconditional love, not the man-made version that you and I and society has created to understand our version of God as we try and thin those veils and connect, but the power before the Big Bang, that kind of God. I think it's God's unconditional love. One of the things that feels really good is to be around people that care about you. All right, let's pull a card, Authentic Self. Let's highlight your authentic self. The you no one else can be. The you that you came into earth wanting to be and born to be. 3 cards. Soul time. Tantric journey. Freedom. Soul family. Sometimes on my first meeting with people, there'll be a large emotional packet downloaded, and sometimes images and this and that's. One friend in particular, first time I saw her, all the planets aligned over her head like a crown. And as I got to know her throughout the years, I realized she could go to my 7th crown chakra and just take as she needed. I found that like, whoa, you're an interesting person. And then I saw animals react to her and respond to her. She's the type of girl dolphins come to play with. I love that she's a soul sister of mine. I appreciate, and she's going through a wonderful romance, a wonderful life, a wonderful freedom of self. Your soul family, they can be strangers you've never met. You can walk in a mall and brush elbows with someone that you'll never have more of an interaction than that elbow brushed. And their higher self and your higher self are up there trading Pokemon cards. Not quite like that, but a little like that. Our interaction can be brief and deep simultaneously. Your tribe, your soul family are right there before you. One of the reasons I'm bringing what I do to collective consciousness is I have strangers come up to me with a need to this and a need to that. And I've met people for the first time and had planetary alignment over their head. I know my tribe is out there, huge, present. And I know they have needs. And me too. Needs, wants, desires. The things that I have actualized in my reality. Injuries that no longer are an injury. What I mean, completely transmuted. There's a book called Unfuckable With. Wonderful book, well worth the read. Or the audio listen if that's your preferred method. Your family's there. If your heart is centered on husbands, wives, lovers, kids, co-workers who aren't there, who have showed unkind behavior, and you're aware of that, that person who brushes your shoulder, that may be the closest you're able to handle of the love they have to offer. When the strangers come up to me, often they're apologetic and they don't understand why they start crying and why they this and why they that. Because I've had it happen so often, I'm accustomed to it. For me, it's normal. For them, they don't really react that way. And I get they're doing it because of the energy I've transmuted. My I am. I am here. I am present. I am connected. I am aware. When you are in a fear frequency, your part of your conscious connection is in past or future. And that can be disempowering for your I am. That shoulder brush, that's all that you could take in the now. Injured and injury. Hurt things, you don't have to hurt things, by the way, but oftentimes hurt things hurt things. And that behavior pattern, I would like to see lessen. It's okay to be hurt and okay with yourself that you are. I went through a time period where I had a regret over my own kindness, and that required a healing juncture that was lengthy. It was okay for me to be in isolation by myself and healing. And anyone external that has issue with it, that's your problem. I have no remorse over it. But I'm also aware of things that I didn't engage with. I didn't go out asking for money. I didn't go out texting, calling. There are people that created my name and face and made false accounts. That is not me. And while I don't like having people taken advantage of, I also know those that contacted me directly were given information of what I'm actually doing. Lies, they don't stand up to scrutiny. Lying to yourself causes confusion internal. The habit of creating fake accounts and identity theft and bullying and online stalking, that's a very miserable person. And that's unfortunate, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Who you are is precious. How you choose to be, that's under your own control. People that you admire, spend time that direction. Sometimes what people admire are people in the Bible. They can be rock stars. I admire, sometimes I'll speak about the things that I admire and why I admire and what I admire and how it helped me. And when I do that, I like praising. I like encouraging. And I like people succeeding, feeling good. An acquaintance colleague of mine sent me a message about a classmate of ours who's moving to the lower 48 and engaged, happily adoring her husband. And that just was like, oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing. It feels good when those that you care for are successful and are succeeding. It feels good when the people that you have emotional connection to are doing well. If people succeeding causes you to feel like you need to compete, that is a misplaced ego and pride. You cannot be me. You are incapable of being me. I can't be you. I'm not supposed to be you. I wouldn't put the time, energy, effort that direction. One, I know I'm incapable. You be you. Who you are, the world deserves. And the world is very deserving. All right, bottom of the deck. My feet are curled up. Friendship 22. Divine masculine. The divine masculine energy, it is protective. I've had people that I have kicked off the island, booted. If you have no loyalty, protection to offer me, you're welcome to be a fan club on the outskirts. I don't need that energy in my space, nor is it welcomed. The gifts that I'm offering to the public, I'm offering to everyone. Everyone that wishes to take a listen. And I'm offering it free. I am not selling or advertising. They're like the decks I use, that's in the link. I have got a link for essential oils that I have proof in the pudding I know works. There are a few people on Facebook. Well, that was interesting. I had a false account, a faker, reach me on Facebook. But I've had people on YouTube that I admire and I will advocate for. I've had places of study that I have found of interest and worthy, and I will encourage people that direction. I will encourage. I shared something, and it was simply an article of someone else doing something that I agreed with, and I shared that. I am open to sharing and encouraging what others are doing. I like people succeeding. And if the inspiration strikes, I will advertise you. Free of charge and not for attention. It's my personality. And it's not necessarily personal. Not that it's not personal that I think you're great, but you need to think yourself great. That's not for me to do. That's for you to do. And I'm glad if you appreciate it. And if you don't and you let me know, I will remove it and not do it again. No questions asked. All right, friendship. I have a close circle of friends. And for me, the word holds quite a bit of weight in meaning. One, to be my friend, I have to have a belief that you care, which means you don't purposely intend harm. That one matters to me. Having people claim to be friends who aren't friendly, I've had that happen. And that has, I don't really find that I guess when people use others to have their own version of success, I find that gross. And an easy way to do that is to claim love and friendship, not show any of those realities of action, but do it for attention. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right. Let's see, is there anything else? Okay. We're going to work on the higher self, going into self, and empowerment of who you are. And also forgiveness for trespasses. There have been things stolen from me, and my take, which I got from my father, my take is they must have needed it more than me. I don't steal. So that's not the closest thing to stealing I would get, and I had done, although I'm not overly proud of it, I've had things at the bottom of my cart that I forgot, and I didn't walk back to the store to pay for it. That's a stealing. I was more referencing money, identity, um, bravado for attention, that kind of. I like integrity, and there is a energetic repercussion for taking things not of yours. And I'm aware the universe is always watching. Okay. I like that friendship, 22, divine masculine, 22. Okay, my feet are curled up. Touching the ground, when I'm speaking light language, touching the ground, preferably barefoot, is usually best. Although the beautiful thing about light language, it works in ways I'm not completely conscious of. It works in ways that can bend the physics of how we understand the world. I can and I have seen miracles often. I know it works. Giving Gaia permission, giving your higher self access, the promoting a belief of wishing better for your reality. There are things that I can hold true and steadfast to because I had been shown for a very long time. There's someone I admire who will claim she is not psychic, and I appreciate that. When I was little, I was adopted into a non-denominational Christian family. And when my gifts came out when I was a teenager, they started coming out. I had a friend at school, and I called her in the morning as she walks to school. And I called her in the morning and asked her to take a different path. Then soon after that, we found that children were being kidnapped, and it was along her route. My awareness wasn't, she was appreciative. And then my connection to knowing things that I technically, you would think not know or shouldn't know, has caused more fear and rumors than appreciation in my own reality. Think of a way to refer to him that doesn't highlight identity, but still clearly. I had a intimate, close partner whom I called on his way to work, and I said, watch out for the white van. And then a car crash happened before him, and it was a white van, who, if he wasn't paying attention, it would have involved him. I didn't want him hurt. Thankfully, that gentleman knew me well enough that when I say do this, he's like, yes. I'm often right. And it's not any, oh, wow. We're all tapped into collective consciousness. Everybody is. How you perceive it needs to be in a way that you can honor. And if it's not, then you'll try and turn off parts of your gifts and abilities. I met a acquaintance, colleague, distance, coworker person who chose to take energy from his third eye and utilize it a different direction and not use his own gift. That I disagree with, and I don't see how it helps his own reality. Our third eye is incredibly potent and powerful, and it's a chemical warehouse that allows gifts and abilities. I don't have telekinesis. I can't take something and lift it with my mind, but I know that's absolutely possible in this realm of reality. I haven't physically seen it. One of the cool things I saw, I was at a pilgrim retreat and I needed a tack. I wanted to leave a gift behind and I didn't have a tack, and I was leaving the next day, and so I went through all of my luggage and washed it and folded it, and I was traveling. I didn't have a tack. Packed up all my luggage. The next morning, I was trying to think, because I looked on the walls, there was no place to hang what I wanted to leave. And I unzipped my suitcase, and there was a tack right there. I knew it wasn't there the night before. And then poof, it's there. I know that our reality is more than most of us have been exposed and seen. Magic is real. And everybody has the ability to be their own magician. And that is actually part of their reality, whether they're aware of it or not. The unseen realms are there at your fingertips all the time. I have heard people speak about how they see angels and they've got wings and they've got lights and they've got a thises and they've got a that's. I see angels as balls of light and orbs. Their winged version is just as true as mine, and both are okay. The way that we perceive our reality, that is something that shamans help settle. I'm not creeped out by spirits or ghosts. They are welcomed in my environment, and they are very polite and respectful of my space. They want to be in my space, and not being respectful of my energy, booted off the island. They know that before approaching. It's clear. Though welcoming and being welcome, that's not as prevalent for them. A lot of people move away from things they don't understand, and our horror movies and like that brought in a stigma of fear pattern. There are poltergeists. There are spirits that can move things, that relish fear. They absorb, eat, and are attracted to that kind of energy. There's a reason shamans face their fear head on. That kind of energy has no power around me and will go a different direction. The closer it gets to me, the less power it has, and that will be unpalatable to that kind of energy. The advantage of that, if you have those that can work with the unseen and are consciously aware of how to turn we're all equal. The strongest thing you come across is the face in the mirror. That being that, you can wish unkind things on others and have unkind things happen to the reality and pat yourself on the back for that grossness. What allows that to happen, I have a belief pattern of, is the unseen. It's the conscious that I don't want to say hasn't crossed over, because everyone crosses over to heaven is rejoiceful, and there isn't a purgatory or hell waiting. We can create that in our physical reality, yes, and you can be reborn back into a place of constant low density emotionality, and that is your family line habit of history. Karmic bonds and contracts can lead family ties back that direction continually. our realm of reality is grander than we are consciously connected to, most of us. Meeting people that can talk to those that have crossed over sometimes will help you open up your reality to people that you miss. I want to say friend, although technically we haven't spent very much time cultivating friendship. I love her mother, and for me, that's enough. If I love your kid, I'm gonna love the parent that produced it. Because I love her mother, I feel friendly behavior towards her child. Anyhow, her mother had died, and I have very much from the outskirts sent some condolences. And then I've lit a candle, and I have focused on the mother and the love for her daughter, and sending extra hugs that direction. I felt inspired to do that when 3111, when my best friend died and my daughter crossed over. I had a lot of people contact my daughter and ask, "How is your mother?" And back the fuck off my daughter is how her mother is. Gross. If you don't know my daughter, do not be contacting her asking for information about me. Yuck. She lost her father. She lost her sister. Why? A stranger would be... It's one thing if the stranger is like, "I am here to help." Food. What can I... asking people what you can do when they're in a grief isn't very helpful. At least it wasn't for me. Maybe if I had a stronger organized wood element and a list of you do this, you do that, then maybe it would have. But I'm hoping an exaggeration, hundreds of people contact my daughter asking about me. Gross, 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 gross. That added, she had to turn off her phone and almost got rid of her number. Gross. And the person I trusted my kids' information with, the person that I was inviting into my circle who spilled the beans and was like, here's her number, here's her number, here's her number, here's her number. Booted off the island. You do not cause additional harm. Period. Not okay. Those people, I'm going to go on the assumption, didn't intend harm and didn't mean harm, and because they got the number from somebody, they assumed okay. Not okay. Not okay. Not okay. Gross. I would have preferred being contacted directly as opposed to that roundabout manner. And if contacted directly, would have at least given a name or a number of somebody who would be open and willing to fulfill the role of how we are doing and how others could help. During my time of crisis, I had a colleague or a person who shared space where a place I went self-invite themselves to share a role of giving me messages. I never heard a thing. I didn't get a single one of any of those whatevers. Why? Originally, I thought that role was because they were trying to take burden off me, but then also not receiving a single message told me, yeah, it wasn't about me. Friendly behavior doesn't wish harm, isn't trying to cause burden, and will do what it can to make things better. All right. Let's start the light language. Higher self into self. And because I was talking about the unseen and grief and those that have died, I'm going to randomly pull a card to represent unseen forces. Awareness, 11. We're going to put that right next to our 22. Actually, it's going to be underneath friendship. Divine masculine. Do no harm. That should be everybody's basic rule of thumb. Sometimes harm happens accidentally. Like, I'm going to assume all those people asking about how's your mother, that harm was not intended. Harm did happen. And part of the repercussions of that is a lack of desire to return, to create bridges, to be a part of. That maybe if I would have received messages of kindness somewhere along the route, that would have changed it. But harming my kids, causing confusion in my family, making loss and trauma worse, that doesn't fill me with friendship and warm feelings of safety and security and stability. It did fill me with the back off my kids. On that note, with awareness, protection and boundaries, because that Queen of Swords energy, back up, back off, was highlighted in that belief. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do our light language. Thank you, universe. Okay, feet on the floor. And I know I've said it before, but give Gaia permission and accept the energy from your higher self. That will make light language more potent for you and more of a healing endeavor. Peace, calm, prosperity, abundance, joy. Nia suya taria taria shisuko paria taria samunia taria sakuya shasa taria taraguya sashaya nania takupa baria taria namu a itaki shisuya taria taria samunia taria koyana. Nia suya taria sakoy a yanamuya shasa taria umi itia takutaya. Nia sa taria taru shasa tarupoya tarapuana yasa shasa koyana yasa shasa taya. Nia tu tabaya taria shasa koria taria sataria nona shasa taria taya. And disperse. All right. Quick card for the light language, and then I'm signing off. Here. Oop, 2 king. Intimacy. Reflection 33. Take care. Be well.